Hello, Cynthia. Hello, Tilly. Right. So why did you start this? What was the reason for starting the home improvement project?
Well, I think we needed more living space.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and the only way to do it is to extend and make the most of the space we had, really. Yeah.
And we incorporated a quite a big skylight.
Skylight, yes, we needed a lot of light in, because without the light, it wouldn't have made any sense to just have an extension just all covered up.
I think the original plan was to have a small little Velux
windows.
But we kind of overruled that,
yes,
and decided to go with a skylight.
Yes. So we didn't really stick to the architect's original plan.
Yeah. So we kind of decided to make our own changes. And the skylight was lovely. It gives you plenty of light, it gives you lots of heat, and it gives you lots of coolness as well.
Yeah.
Which actually led us to think about why we needed an electric blind or some sort of shading to our property. Yeah. And that was because it led to us in the summer times. It got
too hot, so we needed to think about how can we sort of reduce the heat in the extension area, and that's when we started researching online, just what's out there, what could help us to sort of reduce the heat and keep the light, but at the same time, when needed, how we can reduce the heat.
And on the other side of it, during the winter
periods, to retain heat.
And what we noticed during the extension areas, that one part of the area was extremely warm.
Yes.
And you walked past or walked underneath the skylight.
You just felt cold.
Yeah. And it wasn't, I guess it was to do with the coolness of the glass reflecting that down. And therefore one of our requirements was to retain heat as well. And
also privacy.
Privacy, yes.
Yeah, because there are other neighbors' lofts, and if you look, I guess if you look down from the loft, you would see through the glass. So sometimes you need that privacy as well. You just don't want peeping toms, basically.
It's a really important investment to get right. So why did you choose WindowTreat?
Yes, so we decided to go with WindowTreat through a decision process that I kind of put together, and that was based on certain criteria that I felt that was important to us as a family, and it was important for me as well that we have the right professionals coming into the property and being able to conduct a survey, and then once the survey's been done, provide technical drawings, and also be able to be a soundboard to ideas to what sort of material that we need for the blind.
Yes, and what was more suitable for our blind and our roof light.
Yes, and therefore those criteria were company size, the how they went about their marketing on the internet, were they the first Google search companies, and then my main sort of criteria was to find someone local, and failing that, then find the next best vendor within that space. And unfortunately, there wasn't no one local enough that ticked the right criteria selection, and therefore I decided to go with 4 vendors, and one of them being WindowTreat.
Yes.
And from that 4 selection, the selection of 4, I narrowed it down to 2. Again, that being WindowTreat and one of your other competitors. And how I then narrowed it from the 2 down to 1 was talking to the relevant technical people within the companies, waiting for response times via emails, telephone calls. That was one of the selection criteria that I had, and then quotes, and then the knowledge base, able to understand and clearly in plain English to be able to provide me
The
information, but not kind of very technical, but it is technical, but it's more
suitable for us to understand.
Yes,
that it suits our requirements.
Yes.
And the other point to note was that when we did mention our requirements, whatever we did say was taken into account.
Yeah.
It wasn't just sort of slapdash. They took their time, and it was fantastic, really.
Yeah. So again, so just to reiterate that, so the last final point of selecting WindowTreat was the fact that they listened to our requirements, and they went away and provided solutions to our requirements. And that was the actual turning point that I've decided that I would go with WindowTreat, because it was more of a technical company that understood the business. They've been in the business for a long time.
And understood the client's needs.
And understood the client's needs as well. Yeah. So that's why we decided to go with WindowTreat.
Thank you. And once you went with WindowTreat, what did you think of the installation service?
Oh, the installation service was a breeze. I thought it would be very messy, and it would be much more complicated than it looked. I'm sure it's complicated, but it made it, the engineer who came in, he made it look so easy, and in a very timely fashion, in a very professional and tidy manner. Yeah. He just got the job done. I was amazed.
Yeah. So if I take a step back, so before the installation, your installation team did come for a site survey. And even during that time, they're very neat, they're very professional, very polite. They were able to explain what they were doing, and what would the outcome be, and they gave me the encouragement actually to say, well, I think we've decided that we did go with the right company. Yeah. So I think your installation team were very good at what they did and the survey, which encouraged me and built confidence in the fact that they would provide a good installation.
Yeah.
After talking to Martin and his team, that was good.
Yeah, it was very good. And also bearing in mind that when they did come in to fix our roof, the blind, there were other builders in the house, and they didn't get in there in each other's way. It just went so smoothly. Yeah. It was fabulous.
Yeah, good professional team. Yes.
And did you get to meet Henry the Hoover as part of the process?
Oh yes, we did.
Yeah, so his Henry and our Henry met.
Yes.
So we have a Henry as well.
Yes.
Delightful. Yeah, so at WindowTreat, we know that all blinds are not equal. We're very scientific in coming up with the right fabrics, the right tensions on the fabrics, the right motors and hardware to meet each individual customer's needs. Is the blind everything you hoped for?
Yes, I would say yes. How about you?
I was looking at my wife because so obviously if we were to go if we go back and we were to look at our requirements, it does tick during the winter period that it retains heat.
Yes.
And it does give us the privacy from neighbors.
Yes. Yeah.
And the electric blind, even though it's not as noisy as I would have expected it to be. It's quite smooth. But so far it has ticked all our boxes. We're just waiting for summer now.
Summer, just to see how everything feels. If it feels hot as it was before, or if it has indeed reduced the level of heat in the extension.
Requirements and expectations.
Yeah, true.
I think you can look forward to summer confidently.
Yes.
And the $1 million question is, would you recommend WindowTreat?
I think I would, definitely, 100%.
Yeah, and I would as well. And all our relatives or friends of the family who've come in and have seen the end product of the roof lantern and blind, have actually said it's really lovely. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah,
And we've had certain building contractors who we've worked with in the past that wanted recommendations as well. So yes, I would recommend